Oh, we missed it.
What?
October 14th.
Well, we have, haven't we? My sis?
Because sworn I heard Mia's voice 3 weeks ago.
So then, she's still alive. Inside your heart.
Oh, that's me. Oh, Mr. Light. Sorry. To be honest, I have much of a different proof. I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh, good. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lolly Taylor that night?
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Adme want to kill Kane Bullard?
Ellipses. Oops, it's almost time. Better get back. That is almost sitcom-y. Oh darn, we're out of time.
Gosh darn it.
That's our Phoenix.
What sitcoms you been watching?
One's like the 50s.
Now that this court is back in session, Mr. Luke Adme, please take the stand.
Here he comes.
Well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. My stern face. Not when we've given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask to Mask.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Adme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in here. You've been in the defense seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Mask. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Master Mask?
Of course.
Guilty.
Very well then. Luke Adme, let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 AM, Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he himself should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Adme. The night of the murder. Speak. We're listening. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor.
The alibi.
Alibi.
That sounds like
The
a
alibi.
part of someone's body. Oh,
I've never seen that before. Not the 9 o'clock news.
Yeah.
I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask is the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. God, I forgot how to
Stern face.
Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Adme, we still have to do your cross-examination in my Superman pose.
A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
You are, Francisca.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
Ha! The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. I'm not full of it. Been trying to work out recently, lose a bit of weight. Do 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 do. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent the calling card to Lord Lee Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this?
Most people don't admit they're evil.
Detective Adme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lord Lee Taylor while he was the only one watching it, He'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
That was the camera that took the photograph.
Oh, come now, it's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lowly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lowly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see.
Damn it, that was my only way.
So this alibi is false?
Has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the master mask in the photo is fake, or the photo itself is. Maybe I am.
That'd be a twist.
Well, say that. So, by photograph you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it. That very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime.
Surely even you understand that by now. Lord Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Cain Bullard, unless I had an accomplice.
I knew it. Gumshoe!
It's Meekins.
Not yet. Several games from now, Meekins comes back.
Are you implying that this picture is a fake?
You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. I mean, black and white, what year are we in? We took a look around the basement warehouse at night before the theft took place. And there's something in the photo that doesn't match my memory of that night.
With more colour.
And Master Moss was...
Very well. Let us hear what you have to say.
And Master Moss wasn't there. The thief wasn't there last night.
What about the photograph do you find funny?
What asshole printed this? And the framing's terrible. The funny part is right here.
Why this is a blood stain. Oh! Blood! Now this case is getting interesting.
I know exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Just got a bit of a...
Oh, just paint. And peach colours of that.
Just got a psycho moment there. Blood! The problem with the photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out something that should have been there is nowhere to be seen. You can use your ellipses all you want.
Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains?
The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following, which I would now tell to you in flashback form, which are also in black and white. We can't afford to color flashbacks in this economy. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw a statue in that spot. If the picture was truly taken on the night, then the statue should have been there.
But when I went there the day after the theft, the statue with the old bag was sitting in the corner.
That's not Wendy old bag.
Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally.
Your Honor, that statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more of an accidental push to move it that distance.
Huh. In that case, can he prove it? Can he give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick?
I can if I believe. Come on, kids, do you believe?
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
Gumshoe Pearl. He's got a mean right arm. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atme.
Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions?
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night.
That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue?
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue?
The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me, you pretended to be Master Mask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have exposed like a cheap film at whatever that said. That's why you move a statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist?
Did I fire 6 shots or only 5? I don't know myself. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time.
But what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was the statue placed beside the warehouse door?
Well,
The statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and was placed there in order to cover up the paint.
Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to, and so in order to create an alibi for that time,
Killed the victim.
he took his picture days for the murder took place.
What? What the?
Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet.
ah,
Oh, yeah, we get it. So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. Nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. What does that even... Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that, dramatic pause, is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did to make sure the room matched the way it had been in the photo.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Order! Mr. Atme, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime.
It's true the camera has been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. My monocle,
Order! Mr. Goddo, what is the meaning of this? Goddo! I warned you about making me wait, now put that coffee down!
so just really in a bad mood.
My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop.
However, the defense is a very good point.
A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think you got your points mixed up with your other
Deep,
points.
man.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there was one point that can't be denied.
Which is...
I've missed his music.
I love music.
It got his music, I like it.
There's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by their chains of maybe
Not entitled to the swear, never.
can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
Wait, don't fall for that, Your Honor.
Hey, Mr. Damask.
Yes?
If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us all your strategy. So let's hear it.
Yes, please provide this court with your testimony.
What he said. Oh, no.
About your plan to steal the sacred urn.
I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zvari! It was then sent to this warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th.
That's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden out in nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
Zvari.
I'll take that as a yes.
Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Doo-doo. Fascinating.
I've noticed an issue.
Why we remember bring that one up? Mr. Atme, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct?
But of course.
Is there a problem with that calling card?
The spelling's atrocious. No, allow me to read the passage from the calling card Mr. Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true. But so what?
Truth be told, there's no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spoiled pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains.
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor.
I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite.
The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to a human error, or should I say an error-prone human.
Cold.
Yeah. And that's when the pink paint got from the urn. That's why they call me Stone Cold Phoenix.
You can't be serious.
And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pen. Which means Detective Atme had seen the urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when it was this fake photo was taken. Because this photo is a fake, your alibi on the night of the murder no longer holds water. It's like having a seizure, and
What did I feel? I'm the one making these
yeah.
weird sounds.
Witness, you have anything to say to yourself?
Why?
Nick, I think it's still a moment for a victory pose.
Huh? I always stand like this. What do you mean, victory pose? Sorry, I just thought of a joke.
It's so sad when there's any conviction these days.
Conviction, you say?
I know what that means.
Yesterday we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer? You don't think you're being a tad fickle?
That's a good point.
No way, don't fall with that too, Your Honor.
You say that Luke Adme was the one who killed Luke Bullard. Let me ask you this. Why would he do it?
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest?
Nick, he's got a second wind.
He prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Rhonda Light, as you say. He must have had a very strong motive for murder.
The only one with any motive we've seen is Rhonda Light. Is Isn't that right, Detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Well, the motive is nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to the defendant's motives were.
Thank you, Sir Old-Timer.
Ron makes himself look suspicious.
I, Luke Atmay, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bollard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bollard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bollard who harboured a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bollard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask the Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Cain Bollard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Cain Bollard, blackmailed the defendant.
This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bollard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination.
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Avme?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction?
I don't know where a walking contradiction like you get off saying things like that.
Ouch.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves. So why don't you show us what you got, Junior?
Indeed. Time to man up, Mr.
I
Wright.
don't have a t-shirt. That picture of Judd in time for man up.
Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon.
What about it?
The problem is this jewel's colour.
Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself.
According to the clipping, the colour of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmailer, it's a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day.
Red?
That's not blue.
Blood.
Which means... Drumroll please. The red diamond
Blood.
described in the blackmailer is not the true Tear of Emanon. The Master Mask stole it all.
And your point is, Mr. Trite?
The colour's wrong.
So you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? Is that what you're trying to say? Right, Trite?
That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, is that what you're trying to say? Right, Nick?
Yes! This is the one Keem Bulb was actually blackmailing. Pearl footnote, okay. Naturally! It was you, Detective Acme.
Do you have some sort of basis for that claim?
You were personally involved in every single Master Mask case, and in my last case you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. The red diamond ring. Acme, you're right now, okay. The red diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Cain Bullet wrote a letter in order to blackmail you.
Yeah!
Order! Order in the court. Order, I say!
It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Came Bullard blackmailing Luke at me. Are you for real?
Yes, I am real. Yes, I am. He said.
Nick, come on. Stand up to
You
it.
heard what the judge said. Time to man up.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world,
Yes, it certainly does.
Cain Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmay's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
Batman. Oh, not Batman.
Got you there, Nick.
Still samurai. He's secretly still samurai.
That's what it all comes down to, Nick.
Don't mess it up like usual. The identity that Luke at me wanted to desperately keep secret was his identity as Luke at me was a blackmailer.
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Cain Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmay. Are you saying that Atmay was blackmailing someone else on top of that? I have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. This is a pyramid scheme of blackmail. Cain Bullard was blackmailing Luke at me. We got that, everyone. Write it down. But Ron Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, no, that's a flashback. Ooh.
Flashback.
But we get the Master theme. Is that animation?
I don't know.
my neck's just gone, I'm afraid.
Makes you realize how weighty that hair of his is.
Detailed plans. In which case that would mean that Ron the Light was actually Master Mask.
That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Light steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atmay.
Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What is? You idiot.
When you were in grade school, you received the card. Careless with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's a lawyer. How did you... I wasn't very good at school.
In which case, I naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask.
Well, yes.
Ron DeLite started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed the crime.
Good point, you certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence.
I'm not sure evidence should be
First
there.
crime, how did Luke Atmay know that Ron DeLite was Master Mask?
I think I see it.
See what?
The lunch van. When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention.
What do you mean?
The newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Light in his guard uniform. Seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in the bucket.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool Baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atmay. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron the Light. Oh, the gallery's getting restless.
It's supposed to be Master Mask.
No, it looks like he's been given an ace. He wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer.
What a fraud, trying to pass himself as an ace
We
detective.
invited Vinny from the Mafia in.
Hey, you
Mercy!
Mercy? Why you? Yeah, why I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud detective, and also why Master Mask. Why can't you understand that?
That's gonna blow. I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity.
Why you? How dare you even to imply that I can never just slowly that? Why do you even try to censor those with a big mouth of yours? You're all fools. I say none of you can compare to my genes. You're all just jealous. So go on, desecrate me, commemorate me. There's nothing going to ace detective going to handle this blackmail, murder, threats, all of it. It's enough to make one laugh.
Just not amused.
We see we finally got into the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atmay.
Bailiff, please declare a cell for Mr. Atmay.
A padded one. I want my coffee slid down the table to me.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to wait.
What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver myself.
The gavel is raised.
Allow me to say one thing.
Coffee.
I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws won't quite sharpen.
Where are you?
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atmay was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't a lordly tailor the night of the murder.
That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr.
There's still one thing you haven't yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, you can't prove this pitiful excuse of a man was a lordly tailor.
No way! Oh my, he said something mean to me again.
Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright.
From a friend, I don't know. I gotta prove that. Well, yeah, but he said.
You can't really prove that. That's long enough, Mr. Tribe. I want to hear your answer.
From a friend. That night, Luke Atmay was at KP Security, and my defense. We can't prove it. I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
Full of shit as usual. But if we hear more Detective Atmay, okay, be quiet.
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I
No
mean.
judge's decision. What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Atmay is here after we interrupted his own trial, and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Mask the Mask.
No.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that our love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he's the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness...
Now it's Atmay away.
Order! Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over the witness.
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence.
By then it'll be too late.
Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court in law. Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. That's a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Atmay will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means...
He will be innocent as far as the murder of Cain Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmay's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Cain Bullard's murderer.
Or something to that effect.
Oh, poor
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Abney.
I think I see it, Your Honor. When you were a child, is this what was on your report card every year? Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result?
How did you?
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Long time no see, Phoenix.
What the bloody hell?
Mia! You're dead! Oh, wait. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. Testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Unfortunately, Your Honor, you've forgotten something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, the witness made a number of remarks. So we're going to have a flashback to that. It's necessary in case people aren't keeping up. Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that alright with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter? Mr. Goddo?
Nothing. Oh, Zanaya, looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at...
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Goddo, what are you...
Very well then, look at me. I'll allow the defense to cross-examination your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear you declare why you would declare the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief, so don't fuck it up, like usual. And call me your Mia Ex Machina.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My brilliant deduction wasn't what informed me of the true culprit, Ron Blight, and thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook this with the jewel. Zvari! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything.
But of course.
But how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer?
I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
We cannot postpone Lugadme's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec, just one chance.
It seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, sorry, Mum, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. So no pressure.
Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
Alright, I got this.
No pressure.
Remember, you only get one chance. Have I mentioned you only get one chance? Don't muck it up. After all, I'm
Very well, then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination.
ever!
Because if not, I'm finding you guilty of the murder.
Just loads up his rifle. Nope, went back one. Mr. Army, about this last remark. Can't object me.
You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it. Mr.
What?
Mr. Atme, it seems you finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder.
What? How can you say that?
Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing a mask outfit, is that correct?
Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof.
More like your deductions prove that you're a fool.
Ooh.
Sass.
I'm sorry, whatever do you mean?
For some reason I'm starting to get really thirsty.
When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime?
That was,
No.
It was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Doing it again. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are those who were watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There is no way that you should have known that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how do you know this piece of information?
Well...
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
And those chances I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Light was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one, and only one way for Detective Atme to have found this out.
only one.
One way, you say?
Please remember, if you will, Mr. Light's testimony. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
But Mr. Delight never saw him.
Sorry, 3,
Okay, we
2,
will go in 3,
go.
3,
There's no way you could know that was
2,
the real Luke Atme.
1, go. It's with that
Just
statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Mr. Light was the killer. Mr. Light saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to follow that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible, you say?
Memories.
See? All along. He's also black and white for some reason. Okay, no. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed King Bullard. That's the only way you could have known what Ron Light was wearing. Oh shit, he's about to go nuclear.
Cheese and crackers.
Hit the deck!
Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown.
That's the same line you gave yesterday.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
Awfully complicated.
I'm not crazy, you're crazy!
King Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn
They're all
blackmailing
awfully
Ron
complicated.
And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme failed to then implicate Ron the Light. He then claimed to be Master Mask.
In the end, he came up with this plan to use the double jeopardy rule and
At any
make him his
rate, it
alibi.
would seem we finally found the truth. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. I took my moment to realize it was. Oh! I didn't realize you were there.
About the verdict.
Ouch.
I know you never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that. I really am Master Mask.
Oh?
So thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? The double jeopardy?
Now that you mention it.
I've been careless.
Well done, Phoenix.
Yeah, what do you think, Mayor? You so did not intend that to happen. As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime. He so did not intend that to happen. Then Master Mask is really innocent. Awesome. For now, it would seem so.
Now then, the court.
For now,
defendant.
I must go now, Phoenix. My planet needs me.
One day I want to see what happens when
Twice.
it's a guilty
And,
verdict.
Woo, confetti.
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all.
Well, it depends.
See, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. Don't ignore me!
Sure, everyone's left the courtroom and he's just standing there by himself. I am Master Mask. You did, Nick. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, 3 weeks. Yes, because Maya doesn't call me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems to be kind of lost these days. You mean about becoming the master of the curing channeled in school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. You mean Misty Faye? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course! Nothing ever goes wrong when it happens. Well then, see you around. Sounds like leaving.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. No.
Congratulations, Mr. Light!
Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all this has happened. Come on, just be happy already. You've been cleared of murder charges and got off as Master Mask as to boot.
Ma!
But in exchange, I lost everything. And stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask, I did it all for one reason. For her. She hates criminals more than anything.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that. But once I got fired from KB Security and I lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have had any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
What about love?
Yes, but It's all over now.
So that's why you became Master Mask?
Back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Really? Can't we go back to how things were? You'll be fine.
Right.
And Nick can prove it.
Mr. Light, even if a ball is broken, there is always
Come
a
on,
way
Nick.
to be put back together. Hold it! Give me a minute. I'm thinking this door will make a mistake. Then this gets a really awkward conversation.
The sacred urn. Bessie was the one who found this.
Probably know him. See, it's broken again. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you.
Light, you did it, honey.
Appreciate that.
You're
but
innocent. I'm
I
so
suppose
happy.
You don't want anything to do with me anymore, do you?
Honey, why don't you talk to me about what's going on? I had no idea you quit keeping security. I
Mr.
never
Light,
imagined that you were
what are
really
you going
Master
to do
Mask
now that
either.
You know? You're not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? I'm leaving, bye. How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. That's a bad joke. Didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like lawyers, like a detective. Gumshoe? Oh, you mean me? My honey would never went and declared his
Chivalrous?
crimes before whatever. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. I knew I was right about you. Every day I
Bessie.
spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Doesn't even look the type. Yeah. Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my honey. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Mwah! Mwah! Well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. Oh, shucks. And guess who walked in?
Oh, no.
Mr. Nick! Mr. Moore, congratulations! Mr. Nick! How could you? With another man's wife in front of Mystic Meyer! Oh, God! I'll never forgive you! Never! Perfect timing, bro. So just as the case came to a close, so did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bow can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that we put back together even better than before. I'm now going to have my face put back together.
Funny.
Ah, dear.
I loved it.
Just, Mr. Nick! Ow! On to episode 3. Ooh, recipe. Wonder that involve chefs or cooking or something. Who knows? And will things get his face repaired?
Anymore.
Again, who knows? I'll pull my him
For the
again.
last time it was. At me away!
No, he's gone. There is a really camp really camp French chef in the next one.
Yes.
I know.
No.
Plus, remember when you mentioned a fake phoenix? We'll get to that next week. Dun 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 dun.